I used to make sure that my little agenda was like full of sessions, full of like work, just because I never wanted to be poor, never wanted to have to struggle.
6 top 20 Billboard R&B singles, Soul Train Award winner, first Black woman to ever be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Naming off every accolade Deborah Cox has earned over her 3 decades-long career would require an entire podcast episode of its own. But those accolades only give you a part of her story.
Yes, because in addition to being considered one of the greatest R&B vocalists of all time, having blessed us all with hits like Who Do You Love and Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, she's also a Broadway star and producer, film and TV actor, entrepreneur, fashion icon, mother, all-around boss and legend. We're so happy to welcome Deborah Cox.
What an intro. Oh, my goodness.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so wonderful to see you.
Oh, it's good to be back. It's great to see you. Great to be here. It's lovely.
I mean, the minute you walk in the room, you feel your energy, your smile always brings a smile to my face. And I've always felt that way about you every time I see you.
About you too. It's like, I feel like I really, really know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a genuine connection. I think that's what it is.
And you're good?
I'm good. Yeah,
good.
Can't complain.
Good.
Can't complain. It's been a lot. But listen, after what we went through with the pandemic, I just stay in gratitude. Stay in gratitude for the work, staying busy, health, strength,
Yeah. You're everywhere.
Always. Well, the crazy thing, anyone that is following your story and follows you on your socials gets to see exactly how wide of a variety of things that you get into. And at high level, you actually do all those things. It's really incredible. And it is one of those things where you go, how did she do it?
I know. Yeah,
How is she able to keep going like that?
Yeah.
But we're excited to talk to you. Like we said a minute ago, we've been singing your songs all weekend long, preparing for this. And we've gone through your Instagram, through your socials.
Do you know how many posts you have?
I don't.
Yeah.
Over 4,000 posts.
4,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a journey. And let me tell you,
that's just Instagram?
Instagram,
That's just Instagram.
And it's incredible for us to do that.
That's actually crazy.
What's the exact number? I don't even know what
I don't have the exact number.
But
I think
we had an opportunity to go through your first post to where you are now. And every conversation and what you've gone through is amazing. And I decided to say congratulations on everything that you have done.
Thank you
and
so much.
we want to go back to your first post you ever done. I don't know if you remember it, but
okay. So this is March 19, 2012, so pretty early on in there on Instagram. There she is. Got my tea. That's how you know it's me, she says. Got my tea. That's how you know it's me.
That's true. I was doing, pursuing a tea company, and I had just started embracing social media, not sharing too much, but not sharing too little, trying to navigate and figure out how to embrace this new sort of, thing.
Well, it's interesting too, because at the end of that post, you say, I'm going to need a tutorial on this.
Yes.
And then immediately you just take off there. You're just like, okay, we're going to be posting, we're engaging, we're talking to people, we're showing. And even that photo is very Deborah Cox, because you're holding tea, but you're not just holding tea. Yeah. Like, she doesn't just hold tea.
You have to pose. You have to have the right angle. And I remember I think I was in the Caribbean then. I had just finished doing... wow. And I remember everything from the outfit. Yeah. It was like this beautiful caftan, and it was, and I said, let me just try it out. But I found that photos work better than just, quotes or text. What a journey. Oh my gosh.
What, you were on vacation at the time, or was
I think I'd done a private event.
Okay.
A private event. Yeah. And so I was, just trying to figure out how much to share, because I don't like to share a whole lot when I'm, just when you have a family.
Yeah.
And I think that has been the hardest part of the journey. The hardest part of the journey is figuring out how much to share, what to share, because, our lives as, celebrities or people in the public eye, we have to just be very mindful of everything.
Is that still kind of I don't want to say a struggle, but that's still top of mind for you when you think about what you're going to be posting and sharing? It's
always top of mind. Yeah. So much so that I don't post in in real time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I might go live, but I don't always post in real time. I mix it up.
Yeah, I like it.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, nice.
Because we don't know where you are. Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
And your kids were so small at that time.
Yeah.
Just talking about family life, right?
And I didn't want to expose them. I wanted them to have a say in what was posted. And now I literally have to ask.
Oh yeah,
I
have to pay my kids for every post.
Oh, I love that.
They made a contract saying if you're going to post, we have to have approval,
right?
And only a certain amount per year. And I'm like, smart kids, good kids, right? I'm
They're
like,
entrepreneurs,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's used. I mean,
it's
used for and can be used against you. You know, depending on what field you want to get in. So it's important to be mindful of what you post and just how you conduct yourself.
And you have to give them the power too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
able to say what they want to be part of and what they don't want to be part of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone is a brand.
Everyone's a brand. Do you ever go back and see what you've done on your socials, or have you ever?
I've actually never gone back that. Yeah.
So this is going to be fun.
This is really going to be fun.
Are
But
you
I'm
little
also
nervous?
really, because I spend so much time I'm very mindful of the post. So I will remember certain things, either by outfit or by glam or whatever. But then the moment, I do remember very specific things with posts. So
I like that. So you're connected to what it is. It's
oh,
important
yeah,
because
absolutely.
they're important to you.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's your
and it has to
journal.
be my verse and my voice and my journal. I never want it to be fabricated. So the ones that are, you can tell when it's really authentically a person and not.
Yes.
Yeah. And talking about the tea, like you posted a lot about tea in the beginning.
I loved, I was very, I'm a huge tea drinker and now a huge coffee drinker and now a rosé and white wine drinker as well. But yeah, I've found many ways to pivot and try different things as you should in your life and in your journey. You know what I mean? Try different things and stay creative.
Yeah. Okay, we want to get started.
Okay,
So
let's get
you take us on this trip. Take us on this trip.
Okay, are you going to pick them?
You pick
'em.
Oh,
I
okay.
could pick the last one if you like.
Oh.
Hey.
This is easy. This was the 30th anniversary. The 25th anniversary. 50th anniversary. I don't remember. Anyway, it was an anniversary at Arista Records, and we were on stage together. No, I can tell by this diamond. Okay, so this necklace came with a bodyguard. Just saying.
Hey.
That's how it.
Kevin
and this
Costner?
was.
You weren't kidding
Another
when you were like,
bodyguard.
oh no, I know from the wardrobe exactly everything that's happening.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
This was the Grammy party.
Okay.
This was a pre-Grammy party, and she called a bunch of us to sing on stage with her, and that's how I remember what she's wearing and what I'm wearing. Yeah. One of the most, I think this was the very first time singing with her as well.
Unbelievable. What was it like
Amazing.
to step up there? And
I mean, I was starstruck, but I knew, at least with the mic in my hand, that was my sense of security because I knew I could at least sing. But here I am singing with one of my all-time favorites and inspirations.
What was it like getting up on stage? What would that feeling of this is going to be happening right now in my life and getting on stage with the one and only Whitney Houston?
I mean, it was completely spontaneous, which was probably better. I think it was better that I didn't know that she would ask me to come on stage and sing. And it was an easy song. It was, I think, Shoop at the time, which is super easy. Just anybody can sing Shoop.
Sure.
yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, I like Deborah Cox. Like, yeah, anyone can sing Shoop. You don't want to hear us try.
Yes, girl.
Shoop.
Oh man, what?
Okay. That's easy. A lot of fun. It's fun when it's spontaneous and it's just off the cuff, and you just you don't have to think too much. You're not thinking too hard. You're just in the moment, and it's you're just free. I think that's one of the most freeing moments where you're singing and you're just limitless. And I felt just limitless. It's like, being in the ring with Muhammad Ali or like one of your heroes,
How much of the way that you approached your style of singing came from studying her, listening to her?
I mean, she was probably the first, arguably the first soul pop artist that was played here.
Yeah.
That you would hear on, the local channel, CFTR, Chum, all the pop stations. That's what I grew up listening to here, and when I heard You Give Good Love and Saving All My Love for You, I mean, that first album was so embedded in my brain. Every riff, all of her stylings, it was just wonderful. So she's like the first vocal coach.
Imagine.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and to live up to that, to fast forward and then be in not only in the same room, same label, just and became a great mentor and friend over the years. Yeah.
So here you are, same label as you just mentioned. This is your moment in your career, in your music. This is a high for you, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, huge,
right?
huge high. Yeah.
How was that feeling of being able to create that type of music at that time for you?
I think at the time I was exploring a lot of different styles, different music. I didn't want to be pigeonholed, so it was important for me to record all different styles of music. I wanted longevity, and I always looked up to artists like her and, the ones who sustained every trend, and it became about being a real, true songstress and a vocalist. I can sing any style. So I really just approached everything with no fear, with a fearlessness to just try things. And, and then it gave me so many different platforms, dance music and jazz and R&B. And, I've been able to explore many different avenues, which was amazing.
Was this when Nobody's Supposed to Be Here happened at that time?
I think this was before.
It was before that.
Or maybe right around the time I'm looking at the hairstyle.
So this
now
is
I'm looking at the hairstyle.
And this is the song we can't stop singing.
That's right.
Yes. It was a whirlwind of a year, just a constant travel. I just remember moving. That was when we moved from LA. We were in Sherman Oaks in this small apartment, and everything was like getting busier and busier, and now we could actually afford like designer furniture. You know what I mean? Like these are changes that happen in your life that you don't really think about at the time, but you just try to get it done because you got the next thing to do. And that was our first time moving to Florida, our second move anyway, and our first home. Just knowing that this was going to be a time, or I knew that within 3 or 4 years I was going to start a family. It was really, really important.
At this point, you're thinking in your head.
Absolutely, yeah. Right around 99, 2000 is when I was like, okay, this is great and everything, and I love, traveling and performing and all that, but I really want like a real foundation, and I want to start my family.
Didn't Whitney say that to you as well?
Yes.
She said start a family?
Absolutely, yep. She was really probably the one that encouraged me the most, because I was just looking at her and her huge, this icon who seemed to have it all. And she was just like, what, you have your husband, you what else? I mean, at the end of the day, you need to have, your legacy, what is your legacy, girl? Like, we'd have all these conversations, and they stayed with me. And, I think maybe 3 years after that, I ended up pregnant with Isaiah.
Just let's go. A motherhood question here, because that feeling of having your first child.
Oh yeah,
right. I remember my husband's like, "Okay, let's give it a try." I'm like, "I don't think I'm ready. I mean, I'm just in the middle of my career. I don't know if this is the right time."
Right.
And then he looks at me, and I got pregnant. Right. It was like
easily,
and I was like, "Here we are." Yeah. I mean, for you being in the pivotal moment in your career and saying, you knew you wanted this, but it actually happens. You get pregnant,
and then you're scared.
Scared. How did it change you and your music?
I try to just not let it take over me, in the sense that when I start a new venture, I tend to like go in deep. So I knew that I was ready to have this child, and I was researching and trying to stay healthy, but I was also working too. I continued to gig. I continued to just do promotion for records and stuff. And no one knew, right up until about like 7 months. Yeah, I didn't share it with anybody. I just kept going. going.
So the fashion was
so
really
I would just
important
show up
at this point.
I would just show up at photo shoots, and I remember doing this to Mike Ruiz, and they all were like, "Girl, like what? Why didn't you say something?" And I was like, "No, we're gonna keep it doing." And I just, went through it, but it was, back then in the early 2000s, like you just didn't share all that stuff. You know what I mean?
So, given that you've been able to, I mean, we're talking about your kids, how successful they are and how proud of them you are, but you've been able to have this incredible career where you've done all these different things. For you, what's worked in terms of being able to focus on your family, give them what they need, but also give your attention to your career and fulfill all these things that you want to do?
I think having a team player and my husband, and my family, and like having a close knit bunch of people that understand that there's got to be some kind of balance. I don't know that it could work where it's just work. You know what I mean? Like, because everything feeds and everything inspires different things. Music can't just be cookie cutter. It has to be inspired from a lived experience. So I think that's what's made it work. Just being really mindful of the process.
Yeah. It's one of those things where sometimes your family is the major priority and your career has to take a little toll, or it's the other way around, and you're allowed to do that, right? Yeah. And being able to structure it that way too helps. And not punish yourself for it either,
oh my goodness. Right? And I just got over that. Really? I think, COVID was a real awakening for me.
Right, yeah.
Because it made me really appreciate the journey. That was the first time I was able to like put the plaques up on the wall. I'd always sort of just been going, traveling, doing, but not really taking it all in. You know what I mean? And that was a real moment where I was like, you know what? From now on, from here on in, I'm going to be very intentional with everything that I do, with the choices that I make, with the projects that I become involved with. The time that it takes me away from my family was something that I never really would have taken in consideration before having kids. So it was a real awakening.
Reflect.
Yeah, very, very reflective.
And when you did reflect, what did you learn about yourself?
Because,
girl, I went down a hole. I was like, what are my priorities? I
know, right? Yeah. It does make you go, am I a narcissist? Because it's just been about me this whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think what I learned about myself is that I'm very ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm ambitious. Yeah. I'm not one of those ladies who, there was a certain narrative growing up as a girl and as a Caribbean, with a Caribbean background. A lot of the Caribbean girls understand that it's, a lot of emphasis was put on the males. Like, this is real talk. You know what I mean? Not saying that my upbringing was like that, but I've just seen that in my family, and I've seen it in other families. So it gave me the perspective to really embrace that I want to be my own person as well. And I married someone who respects that and understands that. And so when Lascelles and I got married, and when we decided to do this journey together, we were like alpha. You know what I mean? Alpha male, alpha female, like very committed to each other and building each other up and doing everything as a team and committing to that. It was very difficult because you're both strong-headed, but we found something that we can both work on together, and it's worked. We've made it work, I should say.
But communication is key when it comes to that. You have to talk
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah, and I was never a very communicative person. I would communicate, I think, best in music, but never like in person. I don't like confrontation, but now I do. If I have an opinion about something, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to have an opinion.
She's come out.
I have reflected.
I used to be so, demure and very, easy to please. Yeah. But I think as you, become wiser, you know what I mean? And you have a lived experience, you can share more and care more as well. Yeah.
There's a lot of respect between you two.
Yes.
It seems he's really part of your core. Like, there's something beautiful about that. How long have you been married for now?
26 years.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
21. We're together for 26 years.
You're just going to say me
I know
too.
you-
To everything she says, you're going to be like, yeah, me too.
But it's so important, that relationship of that respect. And how do you, I mean, how does that happen?
Well, I think having your own thing, your own interests, your own, again, celebrating your individuality. I think a lot of people think that marriage is about morphing into each other and becoming one and all this sort of fantastical, idealistic things. But marriage is a merger. Mm-hmm. You know, I think you have to really want to be committed to the journey with this person if you want it to work, because it is work. Like, after all of the romance and all that stuff fades, at the end of the day, you know, you're two people looking at each other that made a commitment, going,
Right.
oh my gosh, now what? You know. And then when you bring kids into the mix, it's a whole different dynamic, because you're rediscovering who you are.
But love is, you know, I think a big part of love is loving someone for who they are and who they want to be, not who you think they're supposed to be, right?
And wanting to grow with them.
But
And
in your
allowing them
industry,
to grow.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I know people are just like, oh my
How
gosh,
long?
right?
26
Yeah. Very few people are like, me too.
That's rare.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
yeah.
But that congratulations.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes, you too. You too. Yeah, it's I think it's a give and take, a little bit of compromise, a little bit of a lot of teamwork, and a lot of, you know, like a basketball team. You know, I mean, you have different positions that you play. That's kind of what it's like, navigating the journey of marriage and business and everything, motherhood and fatherhood and all of it mixed up together.
We need a biopic for you. Deborah Cox biopic Netflix series.
for
We
sure.
need a few.
Because
there's woman.
It'll be a whole series. We'll do, you know.
It needs to be a series.
Yeah.
Like
series.
a true American, true Hollywood. No, American, Canadian. Yeah. Whatever.
A little bit of
Let's go
I
on
know.
this.
So
I know.
Okay.
So many phases. I think that's what it is. It's like, right? There's the phase of being Deborah without kids, being Deborah with just being the married Deborah, and then the married Deborah with kids, and then married Deborah with kids and businesses. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's always evolving.
It's always.
And you play you in every.
I will play myself.
You play you in
because I
every
literally
season,
could.
yes.
Even the younger one, we could do with AI. It's good. It's all good.
Oh my gosh.
She
and
hasn't changed in.
It's a whole different.
You look the same. Come on.
The AI thing? Okay, shh.
Bad word.
Because-
Okay. Let's move off of
okay,
AI and
next
get into
photo.
the next part of your
Okay.
story here.
Oh, yeah.
Sidelined the QB and Me, which will be out November 29th on Tubi. Very, very excited about this.
Yeah. So there's you and that's the
This
cast.
is
That's the cast
me and Noah Beck and Sienna Agudong and Drew and James Vanderbeek. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was some of the cast. There's a few people missing from this photo, but we had just
Oh, he's the
finished
TikTok
doing-
guy.
yes,
Yeah.
Noah.
You're like, no, I know him. Yeah.
You recognize him, yeah.
Yeah.
The TikTok world, yeah.
All he has to do is smile, and it's 11 million followers.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, I gotta be in a bikini, child, to get 11 million followers. What I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, but like this is your now television
Oh, this is the latest
career.
project.
Latest
Yes.
project, yeah.
Yes.
This was just a couple of days ago.
This
wasn't
was just a couple of days. Yes.
So is this the new
Before I
world for
sprained my
you?
toe.
Is like doing television? I know you started movies a while back, but now you're in a series. And is this the path you want to go on?
This is. I had been talking with Justin Wu, the director, who is an incredible person, incredible director, about working together. We met when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is
Yes.
awesome. And we met at the after party and talked about different things. And finally, we got the opportunity to do this very, very charming romantic drama. Noah Beck plays a character who is trying to figure out his future in football, and Sienna's character, Dallas, who I'm a mentor and sort of like a mother figure to her. She's trying to figure out how to get into Cal Arts.
Okay.
She's a dancer, and I play her dance teacher.
Yeah.
So I was bringing my little
5,
Debbie
6, 7,
Allen
8.
vibe in there. And it was a lot of fun. We shot it in Vancouver Island, and it was beautiful. And I was, I'm always doing something else when I do something. So I was literally on Broadway doing The Wiz and left for a week to do to shoot this, and it was a lot of fun. And it'll be out soon. So I love that it was just a different character that I hadn't ever explored before.
And so getting together with the cast after finishing filming, what's that feeling like to be able to be out there, go talk to everybody about the film? It's finally done, right? Celebrate together. What was that day like?
It was very celebratory because we did have a lot of time to shoot it. You know what I mean? Justin was incredible in figuring out the timeline, how to get all these scenes. But it was beautifully shot and beautifully done, you know. And it was a lot of fun revisiting and seeing everybody after being away for so long. You know, we had just shot it. When did we shoot it? I think it was in June.
Yeah.
So it was great to see everybody and really celebrate and see all of the pieces put together.
Yeah. Shout out to Justin.
Yeah.
Justin's incredible.
Shout out to Justin Wu.
I was with Justin at TIFF a couple years back.
Yeah.
And he was so excited to tell me about the feature that he was about to shoot. And he was like, "You got to come on set." And
yes,
here
we are. Yeah. Incredible. People don't realize the work that goes into filming.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Do you like it?
I do. I like the process of it. And if I like the character, I like it even more.
Yeah. You play a mentor.
Yeah.
So who... You know,
I play Miss Alicia.
Miss Alicia. Who's your Miss Alicia in your life?
It would be my mom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Watching her navigate through, you know, poverty and hard work and just like making a way for us. You know what I mean? It was really, that was college. That was, you know, a real learning experience and seeing her just navigate through life, you know.
How is she now?
She's great. She's so proud to see all of the achievements. She just she knows the real struggle. I mean, she was like my momager when I was younger. Just the protector, you know. So she's thrilled.
Do you remember the moment she said, "I'm proud of you"? Was there a little?
Oh yeah, there were always moments.
Yeah.
So I think, thankfully, you know, again, acknowledging the journey along the way. It's those moments, like after what I felt was a bad show, if I wasn't in great voice, I used to take it super personal. And when I was younger, I was 13, 14 in clubs singing. And she was like, "No, you did
13,
your
14 in clubs."
Mm-hmm. She used to have to sign like a waiver to give them permission to have me in the club to sing. And I grew up in a lot of like singing all over the city. I mean, this is where I honed my craft, you know? Learning how to sing in front of people. Ooh, that was tough.
Well, I was going to say, you know, when you're starting out, when you're younger, motivation means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, especially that age. So to have your mom be there to be able to support you, do you feel like if you didn't have that level of support, that you wouldn't have been able to have the confidence in yourself to keep going and keep pushing? Like, was that a big part of the thing that motivated you, having that voice with you and having that comfort?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also important to have a truth teller around. That's going to give it to you straight so that you don't get caught up in the fame and caught up in the celebrity and all the things, because it's so easy. It's such an addiction, you know, that you know, you crave, you know. I've just seen people fall all the way down to the lowest of the lows because they're so addicted and they crave that attention all the time. So you got to learn how to be with yourself, with no one clapping and no one, you know, cheering you on. Like, you got to know how to like be comfortable with solitude, you know. And I think having that at a very early age was what helped me stay very grounded in it. So I don't get lost in it. I don't get caught up in it. The only time I get caught up is maybe on stage when I'm like having a great show. and I'm just like living and I'm singing and that's when it's like euphoria.
Tell me more about that.
Other than that, child, it's a lot.
But that's when you get to this. People want to see that from you when you're on stage.
So
that's
what
they
is
want.
it like to be on stage? And was there a moment that you hold dear to yourself that was just you're on stage and you're just like, I can't believe this is happening right now?
Oh my gosh, there's so many moments. For me, when the sound is absolutely pristine and I can hear my vocals, I don't have to stress about how I'm singing, like the craft. I don't have to worry about breathing correctly or this, that, and the other. I can just sing. That's when it's the most amazing. And sometimes it's just the quietest of moments with just me and voice and piano. That's when I can actually hear myself, and it's just like singing in a room by myself, like when I was a kid, And then there's moments where I'm out of pride and the sound is killing it, and the bass, I can feel that bass in my soul, and I'm on stage and it's like boom, boom. There's like something that is very addicting about that moment too. Yeah. That's why I love the club shows, and I love like the prides and the sound. It's all about the sound, And then there's those moments like Grammy parties, and they call you up on stage, and you're like, what, and then you get that moment to just sing. Like those are the Grammy moments. Those are the moments where it's not about awards; it's about like that feeling in that moment, that instant. That I can get addicted to.
Yeah. So when you're on these highs, right? Like the Grammy, the epitome, and you're not always at the highs, right? How do you keep yourself sustained, I guess, when you get to the lows?
By staying in gratitude, remembering those moments, There are a lot of times, and I'll tell you a little secret about my social media. When I'm at my lowest, sometimes that's when I post.
Why is that?
Because it forces me to make the choice to be happy in that moment. So when I'm feeling like super depressed about something, whatever, and I don't often have those times, just so you know, because again, I stay in gratitude. I'm always in gratitude. Like I didn't grow up like this. You know what I mean? Right. I grew up, we didn't have a lot growing up. And I remember, just how rough it was coming home from school, turning, the key, no one there. My parents are working. You prepare your mac and cheese or your cheese and mac, depending on what you chopped. I remember, the pork chops on the grill. I remember I remember not having anything to eat during the day. I remember having an apple in my bag going to sessions, just in case I was hungry before a session or what. Like I remember the struggle. So I stay in gratitude. I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to live hand to mouth. I know what it's like to not have opportunity, not having money for opportunity. So this is what keeps me very, very grounded, and it keeps it all in perspective. And I'd never, never, ever take anything for granted. I'm always on time. I never take people's time for granted. I never trip out during, you know what I mean? Like I've seen artists trip. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you tripping?
Who's tripping?
I mean, like so many moments of like on a national show without naming names, but it's like, are you kidding me? This is
because I've seen some tripping in backstage.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like the ego trips and stuff. I'm just like, I can't even believe it, but okay, this is what it is, but no, I stay in gratitude.
So I was going to say, but there's truth to the strategy in that staying in gratitude and being there for the work and for the people, because you're still here doing it.
Yeah.
Like you're still here doing, and people are still trusting you with new ventures, and you get to go on and do all these different things where, I don't know, if you're tripping out because you think this moment is the moment. Yeah. Who knows how long you'll be there for?
Right. Yeah. When they say that 15 minutes of fame, that's real.
Yeah.
There's a moment where, I've seen people shoot up to the top, and then they're up there, and then they can't get back to whatever the top is. That's the other thing. Whatever success is to you. Success to me has always been having the means to be able to do the things that I want to do. Not things that I have to do.
Right.
You know, so it's wonderful to be in a place where I can make the choice to say yes or no. Whereas before it used to be like, oh gosh, how much is it paying? That was like in the early years. And I didn't know how to say no.
I know that.
So it's just like, because again, I used to make sure that my little agenda was like full of sessions, full of like work, just because I never wanted to be poor, never wanted to have to struggle, you know, and then I didn't want my kids to struggle. You know, we've always had this vision of just being able to have the means to take time off and like develop that other idea or have other interests, you know.
When you made that first paycheck, that big first paycheck,
yes.
I'm curious to know what was the first big purchase.
My first big paycheck was singing background for Celine Dion. That's when I was like, oh, I can make a living. I got my first check, and let me tell you something else. It was post-dated checks.
Okay.
So, for those of you who are selling and doing all the clicking and all that stuff on your phone, well, back in the day, you used to have a check, okay, and you took it to the bank. These checks were post-dated, so if the gig was March 1st, you were already paid.
Yeah.
Like you had the check. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. That's right.
You already had your check. That just didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was when I really respected the business side. Like you know, doing a gig and then getting paid that day, or your check was already in the mail. You already had it. Like that's how Celine Dion works. That's her whole organization, and I loved and respected that. That was just one of the things that I really, really admired about working with her as a background singer. So that was the first time I was like, oh my gosh, you can actually you can do well.
Yeah.
And I was all prepared to sing either background for Luther or because I saw him in concert in Buffalo, and I was just like, that's amazing. The arrangements. Imagine singing that music every day, every night, every show. Yeah, I was prepared to like pivot if things didn't work out. But
so what did you splurge on? Did you
a Mercedes?
Ooh, yes.
Yes. That's the way.
It's so funny. The car and We Can't Be Friends. It was.
Did you keep the plastic on inside? And I'm kidding.
For a while, I was like, oh my god,
that's what we do.
You don't want to drive.
It's a cultural thing. You don't.
It's like, well, what's the point if you're not going to drive the car?
Wearing? Don't bring those into my car.
Take off your shoes.
What are you doing?
No kids allowed in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want to get to the lightning round?
The lightning round.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to keep you forever, obviously.
Wait,
but we got to get. Do you want to do one more?
Let's
do one more. Let's do one more.
That's what we only did 2.
Yeah.
Oh my, I know,
That's
right?
why we can talk. We can talk.
Oh my goodness, which one? Okay, we'll do the one in the middle.
Okay.
Because I'm a middle child. Oh my God! Speaking of
that's story.
Seeing her after years, reunited at the Junos, and she was so happy. She was so gracious and so lovely. Because when I left, I felt so bad. They had just rehearsed all the new musicians, all the background singers, and here I was leaving in the middle when things were really, really taking off. And she was great. Really, really.
Have you had a chance to connect with her recently?
Not since, no.
No.
Yeah. It's been a while.
She has a story too.
Oh my goodness! Yes, the documentary just
right takes you.
I could not. Yeah. It took me all the way down memory lane.
This photo, I think in your post you said it was not long after that is when you decided you were going to go. Mm-hmm. And you were going to go do your own thing. Given what you just said about this, look at this paycheck, I bought a Mercedes, I can finally make money doing this. What was the moment where you went, okay, you know what?
Yeah, true.
Now it's the next thing. Now it's me.
When I start to get bored and I start to just sort of, I get distracted very easily, then I'm on to the next. Then it was like, okay, I want to get back in the studio. I want to do dance music. Oh, I want to do cool house music, the music that you hear in these fancy hotels when you're in Europe, and and then I do that, and then I want it Broadway. Oh my gosh, Broadway! What's on Broadway?
That's a big part of your life. Yeah,
a musical. And then so it really depends on my interest and how well engaged I am during that project.
Yeah.
And then I move on to the next thing. I'm very...
Yeah, like making wine.
Yes,
Making wine.
yes. It's so interesting, the journey, because while on tour with her and Rock was in, we would go through all these different vineyards, like on days off and stuff. And I had no idea that it would be something that I would pursue. And I just became intrigued with the process of winemaking and the whole culture of it. And thought, you know, there's no organic wines that I actually love or can taste or can stand. And so that's where the journey began, was developing an organic wine. And so we started Kazaisu, named after our 3 kids.
Aww.
And we combined their names together. We just started on this journey, and here we are now, almost 3 years later. We're in Japan. We're here in Toronto and Saskatchewan and BC and in the U.S., and it's growing. Yeah, it's really, really growing. Yeah,
I love how that is the motivation for starting the company. It was like, nothing out here is good enough. Nothing's good enough. I'm going to do it. It's going to be me.
But that's a conversation. You said you get bored, and so you move on. You try something new. Do you wake up and go, listen, I'm just going to do this, and then you go to your team and go, let's make this happen, and that's it.
That's awesome.
So your team's really important to you.
Absolutely, and we're small and mighty. You know what I mean? I think it's really about having people that will help execute your vision well. You know. Yeah. And people that you can trust, obviously, you know.
So what do you want to do next then, if that wine is done?
Wine is done, yeah.
Tea was kind of done.
Yeah. Probably, I probably won't revisit that. The wine is more fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to do a red.
People really respond to the wine.
Yes. And we just launched our white wine. So it's a nice, happy pivot. And the shows are much better, too, when I have a little wine.
Yeah. Right.
Do we have any wine
Johnny's
here, guys?
You know, when you go, everyone gets tea. They're not like, yay, wine.
Yes.
We could do it together. Okay, so we have some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I think I have it here. Okay.
Well, I'm curious to see what these...
Oh, you want to look at them?
Well, we just talked about the wine.
Yeah.
Wine.
And...
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't this crazy? We're both Glindas.
So we were calling this one the Glinda Connection, and it's such a perfect photo for exactly this moment.
Yeah.
You wrap the Wiz, producing the Wiz on Broadway, and then here comes, you know.
This was when I was doing Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway.
That's right.
Ariana used to sneak into this, sneak into the audience and watch the show. She came with like maybe 30 times. And then we'd hide her in my dressing room. Amazing. And then she'd go back out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
I know her family very, very well. Very close. Yeah, this industry, you find your tribe. You find your people that are close to you that again, know how to keep balance. That's a family that keeps balance. Frankie, her mom, Joan, all of them. Yeah. Very, very close. Frankie was the one that was like, you're going to do The Bodyguard. And I was like, no, I'm not. And then I ended up doing it. Really? He has the gift of prophesying, kind of manifesting.
So how was The Bodyguard? Sorry, I
know it was crazy work. It was so grueling. Those songs every night, singing a lot. I remember my voice being raw, just from singing and singing and singing. It was a lot of work, but really gratifying. I really felt like I was paying homage again to someone who inspired me greatly. But it was a lot of singing.
But there's a real connection between you and Whitney. Like there is a real from doing the TV series to doing The Bodyguard, and there's something special there. There's something there's a real connection.
Absolutely, yeah. And now that I think just destiny. Honestly, destiny from. When I think about singing her music and then fast forward to, you know, the journey, being at the label, being on the same label, being around her so much for so many years, and then her passing, I was here in Hamilton doing a show.
Yeah, how did
Angela
you find
Bassett
out?
calls me, how did that? Yeah. Years later, I'm working with Angela on the biopic, not the biopic, but the Lifetime movie, just for the music, and I was I really wanted the music to represent. So that's why I was like, girl, whatever you need, just call me. I'm there to help, to assist with the vision. Yeah. And she's like, okay, well, we have 2 days to do 6 songs. I was like, okay. And you just suck it up and you just go and do it. And that's what I did. I flew in that day and we cut I'm Every Woman. We cut I Will Always Love You. We cut I'm Your Baby Tonight.
Wow.
6 songs.
But those songs
crazy.
were, at that point in your life, they must have just been in you.
Absolutely.
Like,
and that's the thing. I think I just knew how to tonally change certain things and try to, find a way so that you felt the essence of the character, and that's I went in with blinders on and just recorded it. And then the opportunity for the tour came, for the North American tour, for The Bodyguard, the musical. And so I just dove in to that. But just even the journey, but this picture, this is crazy.
You need to repost that.
She's a Glinda, I'm a Glinda.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen her take on Glinda?
I haven't seen the film yet. No, I'm excited to see it. I
Yeah.
love Cynthia Erivo, and I love her, like the two of them together and just seeing what their journey in this has been incredible. Yeah. That's why you just never know. You just have to just keep living, stay in gratitude, stay present, and just let it all flow.
There's something also like talking about Whitney and talking about Ariana. There's a group of women around you that seem very supportive.
Oh yeah.
Recently Sydney Sweeney said, women aren't supportive in this industry, right? Do you feel you haven't felt that way? Like, do you feel you have a good group of people around you?
I do have a good group, an amazing group of women that I always go to, that I always stay connected with and stay in contact with.
Yeah.
And they're real true supporters. There's no competition. We all have our own thing. And I think once you realize that and you understand that everyone has their own purpose and their own path, then it's easier to have those female friendships and
Isn't
connections.
it about finding your people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whoever they may be. It's about finding your people. And I would encourage anybody on this journey, find your people that help to lift you up. You know what I mean? And if you can't find them, find it within yourself.
I love that.
Believe in yourself.
What a way.
Okay, so these are based on social media.
Yes.
What will we find on your Explorer page?
Do I have an Explorer page? I don't
Yeah,
know.
what do you
What do you look for?
like when you open up? Like what's there? What are you
okay.
looking
I
at?
thought that was a song. I was like, wow.
See, like
What
for
am I
me,
missing?
it's dogs. Like there's so many dog videos. And fitness. Memes.
Yeah, I love memes. I am the queen of memes. I tell you, I have all day long. That's all it is. Not stuff that's constructive, just
Right.
memes.
You're sending memes back and forth to each other all day?
All day long. All day, every day.
Those are your people.
I have a good sense
Those
of
are your
humor.
people.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
I love funny stuff.
Favorite person to follow on social?
Oh, Snoop.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
His videos every day. Where does he find them? I don't
What
get
is
it.
wrong with Snoop Dogg?
Who has slid into your DMs?
Ooh, I don't DM and tell. Who has slid into my DMs? So many people, child. I'm just like, child. I don't even go into my DMs anymore because I don't even want to see it.
Right.
Like what do you talk? Like what slid? Like what do you mean slid? Like you're talking about like
Well,
guys? What are you talking about?
you have randoms, and then you have people talking crazy stuff.
How about career wise? Has any other artists
Yeah, anything
slid into
really
your
cool
DMs?
come out of someone?
Yeah. A lot of great connections have come through DMs
good.
too. Yeah, those are the ones. I think my team weeds out the crazies before it actually gets to me. So yeah.
So you haven't gotten any of mine. Like they've been like, that guy's crazy. Don't.
So I always tell people, don't get offended if you DM me and I don't respond because it's probably not me. But people still
They
still
try.
think,
They still
girl, that I'm
I know. Is there a favorite post of yours, either on Instagram or TikTok?
There's never a favorite. I lament so much on.
You do have a favorite.
I do have a favorite.
Yeah, your daughter.
Oh,
There's this photo of her graduating, or what was it? And the amount, I could tell that was your very high, what you wrote in the text. I'm like, that's a favorite.
Yeah, you're right. Whenever it comes to my family, I do get very mushy and very, I get all the feels.
I know. Okay, how much time do you spend scrolling?
A lot of time, I think.
Gotta find those memes. They're not gonna find themselves.
So
Scrolling.
Do you know how much time you spend on your phone?
Ooh.
The reason I asked, we do this thing where we check.
I mean, mine.
Carlos spends on his phone.
To be fair, it was originally we were going to be like, let's everyone show your time, and then every time it comes up, she's like, Carlos, what's your time?
51,000 hours.
Yeah.
I know my phone. It's because I use it for everything.
Yeah, right?
You're working.
Yeah.
That's what I say too. I also say that. I'm like, I'm working.
Yours was like 4 hours average.
Average about 4 hours.
What do you think yours is?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot because I'm always on planes, I'm always traveling, and I'm always on my phone. But I also listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay,
and I read a lot of the news on social more than television sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I follow a lot of different news outlets just to get balance.
Yeah,
because it's crazy sometimes.
Do you take a break from it?
Oh, I do. Yeah. And I've just started not going to bed with the phone in the same room.
That's key.
Ooh, that was. I didn't realize
changes
how
your life.
Yeah.
It really does.
When I'm home.
Yeah.
If I'm out of town, I like to have it at least in close proximity.
The wild thing that happens is when you don't have your phone in your hand, and then you kind of black out. And then you're like, it's been an hour. When did that happen? So yes, keeping it away from you before you go to bed, that's key.
That is
100%.
Key. Yeah.
What is your piece?
What is my piece? I don't know. I've become such a professional at finding peace in wherever I am, just because of the nature of the business. So if I need that peace before a show, it's in the dressing room. It's just being in solitude or.
Do you have a way
finding
of
a quiet, finding a little quiet moment to just sit and be still and not say anything and just be on vocal rest and just like be silent and just literally just be still.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I have to say, can I just nerd out for just a quick second? I'm not going to start singing. Nobody wants that. Nobody. Certainly not me. But, when you think about people who like going through your timeline, through your Instagram, you get to see the connections that you've made, but these real deep connections with people who I'm assuming when you were growing up were idols for you.
Oh, yeah.
And when I think about people who love you, I'm like, she is the one to follow. Like, you are the one to follow. I've always appreciated that it's been about the art for you.
Yes.
It's about the appreciation of the music for you. And when I told my wife, I was like, okay, we got Deborah Cox coming, and she overheard this conversation. She goes, can you please be good to my Deborah? My Deborah, she said. But that's the connection that you have, right, with people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know that you probably know that, but I think it's still, it's such a lovely thing to be able to witness that.
Well, that's beautiful. Thank you. Really touching, because I don't often think, I go in and out of, I put on, sometimes it's the Deborah Cox, the person, the celebrity that is in the public eye. And so I'm not really thinking about that impact. I don't walk around thinking about that all the time. You know what I mean? Again, that's narcissism. You know what I mean?
Is it me?
Like thinking about yourself all the time. You know what I mean? So I struggle with fame. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, it just can't be about me all the time. Let's post about something else.
Yeah.
So it. But I understand the assignment, and I understand the work, and I understand that it's also important to find ways to talk about your work, but talking about it in a way that people can learn from it and learn from your experience. So that's the journey I'm on now. It's not letting it all be about me, but finding ways to let it be a teachable moment, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding
something deeper.
Yeah.
You are deep, girl. We love you. We really do. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us go on your journey and
thank you.
The way you are on social. Like you said, we love following you, and we couldn't stop talking about you because you have done so much over your career. And I'm so happy kind of COVID did happen just for you to reflect on that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because you've had incredible moments. And
thank you.
I can't wait
really,
for what's
really
happen-
have. Thank
happen
you.
next.
Thank you for helping me to or reminding me of all these incredible moments, because they are incredible. Like, really, to go, I mean, wow. I'm all I know is work. So I just know the work.
Keep going. That's
exactly.
and I think that's part of being a woman too. I guess guys too. We just forget.
You forget.
We forget. You just like, what's next? And you kind of have to sit back and reflect how amazing life has been, right?
And how amazing you are sharing your journey, girl. Oh my gosh. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do that. But I just appreciate you, like, sharing such a personal challenge. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's what I think, that's what keeps people engaged in learning about you, and it helps other people with whatever struggle they have, and they're like, wow, those moments really are impactful.
Yeah.
They're very, very impactful. And these conversations need to happen more.
Yeah.
So congrats to you and this platform and this space.
You.
Yeah.
Your voice.
And it's a safe space too.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Well, we can't wait for the next
Actually,
time.
we were waiting for you to bring the wine in, but
I
don't know what happened with
we're
us.
like, can't we?
Is she going to bring a bottle? Do we get it? Next time. We'll have to cheers next time.
Yes,
Cheers
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.